Greetings, Caped Crusaders. My name is Von Fry, probably YouTube's most scorned movie critic, here with another Netflix commentary track, the curiously titled The Dark Knight Rises. Why Rises at the conclusion of a trilogy, I couldn't really tell you. It is quite weird that this movie appears on Netflix streaming finally, just as The Dark Knight and Batman Begins exits. Why can't they have all three? Well, if you'd like to watch along, queue up to 0000. But first, why don't we give a look at my friends over at calderalab.com. Use my promo code FRY15, save 15% on the finest skincare. It's from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Not necessarily related to this movie, but hey, let's go ahead, go to 0000. Gotta reach over here for my Xbox controller and hit play. Now, rated PG-13 for intense sequences of violence and action. I couldn't really read the rest of that. We've got that noir, silver-toned logos at the start here, don't we? I think this is, as probably many would say, Christopher Nolan's first misstep, and that is most people not being familiar with Following, which was okay, an indie film, but once given the keys to the castle, where do you go from a Joker movie? It's kind of hard to follow up the Joker, isn't it? So we get a Bane movie. But not going to be the only new entrant here, right? We got cracking ice right there, that standing in for the Batman logo, though it is weird. Not that ice plays much of a role in this. This isn't Mr. Freeze. Doing a little bit of a funeral bit for Harvey Dent. I was very confused by much of the plot in this film when I saw it in theaters, and I think it's not going to make any more sense here. Christopher Nolan doing a lot of in-camera practical stunt work that you don't typically see in films, and so that, this plane bit over here is an effort to one-up the semi-truck turning 90 degrees. This guy here, saw him around and some stuff. This came out, I think it released July 16th, 2012, and really the first movie to have its box office hindered by terrorist activity. Well, okay, maybe with a few exceptions beforehand, in September of 2001. So this is CIA stuff over here, but it's really quite confusing what exactly is happening here. So are these guys responsible for kidnapping a nuclear physicist? They're looking for this guy Bane, but they don't realize they have him. Respirator hisses in brackets. I should warn you, I am eating popcorn, drinking a Rockstar, and I also have some Kool-Aid. Tom Hardy's not an imposing physique, 5'9", but quite a developed back. Take that off, it'll be most painful for you. His voice, I'm hoping that you guys are watching the subtitles also. It was almost impossible to make out what he was saying in theaters, seeing this first time. And the way the sound was mixed, it was not as though his character was in a scene. It was almost like he was the narrator coming from all directions. People would joke that he sounds like Sean Connery. I at the time felt he was like Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, I kind of had I think in my review, it was one of my last reviews on my OG outfit, as I was so turned off by movies getting worse at the time. Oh, if only I'd stuck around and saw how bad things would get doing the new release reviews, right? But that with no survivors, I felt a little gleeful right there. I'm thinking you're going to need some explosive bolts to make sure you take the wings off this plane the way you intend. Should be pretty easy to figure out who Bane is unless everybody has the respirator and some kind of voice. You know, it's almost like the opposite issue of which Joker had when robbing the bank in the previous movie. Everybody has the mask on, right? Well, here the one guy has a mask. You should be able to figure this stuff out. We're going to leave some bodies here so that when we leave, it looks like everything checked out. This is the physicist, right? The nuclear scientist we're taking. He doesn't sound like he's in this movie, does he? He sounds like totally dubbed in. You know he's got to have a serious plan. He's leaving one of his guys behind like this. And it's not like the guy is unwilling to be left. Another Batman movie where someone is tethered to a plane that's taken off, right? We've seen that before. Just the previous film. Gotham City, I think, might be Pittsburgh this time around. Because I know the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of got involved in this. Hines Ward has a bit of a scene. I think previously it was Chicago. Here's Wayne Manor with Mayor eyeliner. Swears he's not wearing eyeliner, by the way. A lot of scenes in this movie look a little dark, but also like the saturation's been pushed to beyond normal. Kind of see how orange people look here. Yeah, we're having this little dinner over at Wayne Manor, but somehow it doesn't really make sense. It's like if someone threw a party in your lawn, right? You don't want them there. You're not invited. Why is this happening here? We're celebrating the life of Harvey Dent, and we're going to get these little flashbacks here. This is a Christopher Nolan thing. The micro flashbacks without audio. There, see? Audio drops. There. Typically, when you see a flashback, it may be to tell you what happened in there, and these are so short. It's almost like a flash frame. Just making sure the audience remembers that Harvey Dent was Two-Face. I think Gary Oldman is utilized reasonably well in these three movies, in that I mean, as a kid, I watched the Michael Keaton, Joel Schumacher ones, not even realizing that Commissioner Gordon was in those. And here it's obvious, but he's also a bit of a bumbling klutz in this film. As the police commissioner, he gets all of the cops arrested. Well, captured, not arrested, but... And then he kind of stumbles around I think the nuke in the trailer at the end, right? But... Marion Cotillard, mysterious character for now. Somebody I want to keep an eye on here. I think this is Glenn Powell's first movie. He was Hangman in the recent released Top Gun Maverick, and I'm kind of curious who he is in this. I don't recall seeing him here. I know him more for Expendables 3. We don't turn lights on in Wayne Manor. Well, you can sure tell that this is a Christopher Nolan movie because of the gold and black in a typical scene, right? And there's Papa from Stranger Things. And we know that Batman was told to endure, to be chased, right? But I think a lot of people are upset at the way this movie kind of starts out as Batman's doing his thing in The Dark Knight. And now he's already retired, but if you had to get out every night and fight guys, even with a bunch of gadgetry, you'd probably be pretty beat up within 8 years or so, right? Isn't that about the time frame? Everybody thinks of Bruce Wayne has gone. Who was that eccentric guy who peed in the jars? I forgot the name of. Catwoman here is showing off her thieving skills, and she's doing a little bit of that Catwoman type talking right now, like she's come out of character. I don't think Anne Hathaway's a particularly good Catwoman, though. Do they refer to her as maybe the cat, a cat burglar, or something like that? She has some goggles she flips up that might be ear-like. Well, I wonder how they got Anne Hathaway to do that backflip. It is funny in that people were criticizing her, the leaked... This is one of those first movies where you started to see a bunch of leaked footage on set from Batman in the daylight, really. A lot of people were put off. Oh, Batman shouldn't be out at daytime. Well, what if the crisis is occurring at daytime? Is that the way to foil Batman, then? Point I'm getting at, though, she's over there on the bike, right? The Bat Pod, which I never cared for the name of it and didn't honestly like the device. She's riding the Bat Pod, and people are criticizing her costume, and she's like, but you don't know what it can do. Why would her costume do anything? It shouldn't do anything like that, right? Oh, you don't know what the costume can do? Oh, what? It grows wings and flies. Gets adapted fur. Like, I mean, what's to it? And here is our Robin, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Getting a lot of the gang back together from Inception, aren't we? And Inception is a film I liked, though I did find it manipulated the audience, particularly at the end. I made a video explaining that. I don't care for the cops not working with Batman. Spider-Man is seen as a villain to the police in New York City because the media paints him in a bad light. All JJ's fault, right? Batman shouldn't have this dilemma. And we're starting off in our Batman film in a weird place where the guy doesn't want to be Batman anymore. You halfway think that maybe Alfred sometimes puts a costume on, goes out for a walk. Oi, you two need to put that purse down. And crack some guy over the head. Using somebody else's fingerprints, huh? Very good. You can still track this necklace. The Cat. There you go, The Cat. 5'7", 125, big nose. Now, Catwoman's whole bit is that she's looking for, what's it, the clean slate? Something that erases all data about you online. That's absolutely absurd. Allows her to completely disappear. Have we established a plot here, or have I talked over it? Not living, just waiting. A great pep talk here. Getting back in action. So he's gone 7 years. So I'm thinking of, about 23 to 30, because he had his 30th birthday at his house, right? After the leaving the League of Shadows ablaze, right? And then it's strange here to think that Alfred is telling him how he wants this movie to end. Every once in a while, I like to go out to maybe Paris, eat at a cafe. Maybe see you over there or whatever, and just realize, hey, we both disappeared or something. I don't want you to come back to Gotham. He never really tells him where to do this, what time. It's a, super convenient wrap-up for the movie. Yeah, I didn't know at what time you were going to get lunch, but, we've been sitting here waiting for you to see me over your shoulder like that, right? This guy Blake is beat cop, used to be an orphan. We had orphans brought into the latest Batman movie. What do you think, guys? Does the Batman have better cinematography than The Dark Knight Rises? I know The Dark Knight had scenes shot in IMAX, and I think this might have been the same way, but it was at this sort of period where they didn't want to shoot a whole movie IMAX. If you're watching this, or The Dark Knight on Netflix, you get the more typical, I think, 16:9 ratio. Now, some of these, okay, I watched digital IMAX. I know Limax of Mission Impossible. I think it was Ghost Protocol, and the aspect ratio would fluctuate during the movie. It was quite jarring. Netflix doesn't do you like that with this, though. Alright, retrieve some stuff for this guy. She wants the clean slate from him, or he knows how to get it, something like that, right? I kind of wonder if I'll recognize more people. I think Juno Temple is a buddy of Selena Kyle's. I think we're about to see some of this Selena Kyle being OP. Managed to get out of anything. Liven it up with a fight sequence. Manhunt for missing congressman. Wasn't he just at Wayne's place? Man, who's got a phone like that? Even in 2012, you're going to be more likely to have an Android or an iPhone. The thing is that Catwoman doesn't have some vow to not kill people. I would say that could be one, there could be two. And highly likely she kills Bane as well. It's like Batman kind of armed the Bat Pod with live munition, right? Just in case he needed to get someone to pull the trigger. Music's a little bit different in this movie, and you know, I largely think that The Dark Knight, it just kind of has the same music as Batman Begins. This one there, it's changed up slightly, and you do have this sort of chorus chant in the prison, which is kind of catchy, but then when you kind of realize what kind of people are in there, is it something to be celebrated? Our first instance of going into the sewer this movie. You know, being what happens with the cops, you'd think they'd be better off with TMNT than Batman. Not a bad explosion. Well, I mean, what exactly blew up? I'm not sure. Did we shoot a pipe? Oh man, I'm trying to think here. Did they age up Papa from Stranger Things here? Because man, he looks so much older now. I know it's 10 years, but is he dyeing his hair for this movie, or is he dyeing it to be white for Stranger Things? We have captured Commissioner Gordon. We got the Hulk Hogan, the Hollywood Hogan weight belt. Search him, then I will kill you. Okay, then maybe just go ahead and run. It's not search him or I will kill you. I guess we're going to escape the fugitive style here. I mean, there's only limited outflows here. You can find them. Well, you shoot this guy and send him down. That's not really going to help find him. Oh man, Blake is on top of this stuff. People are washing up over here. Somebody's got to have an operation in the sewer, right? Be throwing the bodies in the water. Now, this is not unlike the comic books in which Bane confronts Batman. Just shows up on the house and you see Bruce Wayne, right? I mean, that's what Blake's doing right here. But in the comic book, hey, I know Batman is. I'm here to fight him. All right, fine. You got me. Underground army. No, he was being serious. It's an actual underground army that is underground. Let's see if you saw any giant crocodiles. Killer Croc reference. Easter egg. Let me give you my little heartfelt story here. See what, I'm one of the good guys. I was in the orphanage and I'm a cop. 2 points. All right, you were in the orphanage and you met him, and 2 years later your dad got shot to death. So were you an orphan or not? The really weird points to be bringing up here, fake Robin. How would you have liked to have seen this continuation with Blake assuming the role of Batman with minimal resources, no real support, no League of Shadows training? I mean, he doesn't make it through the week. I mean, this guy, he's figured out who Batman is where no other cop has. I mean, if you tell Batman you know who he is, but you're also an orphan and a cop and being generally a good guy, yeah, I mean, that's one way to get him to trust you, I guess, because you're not using the information against him. Still in the days in which we had Crown Vics as police cars. Foundations funded by profits of which we don't have. I see a lot of Bruce Wayne being incompetent here. I mean, Lucius Fox lets him down too. You let him run the company into the ground? I mean, it's not like the entire company's... the company's not losing money on Batman. Oh, we got the Reventon here. I think some people pronounce it with a B, Rebenton. Is it Lieutenant or Captain Dangle from Reno 911 here? Is his doc? Hey, man, you're really beat up. But I do find it weird that, and I think it was around the time The Dark Knight came out, it said the price to be Batman would be $500 million. For $500 million, you could have the stuff and make an effort to do Batman things. It escalated in this movie because of the bat. Now you have a flying machine. Here we go. Got to put on some kind of costume. This guy Blake just shows up and says he knows who I am, but I still can't trust Commissioner Gordon for the hell of it. Not yet, anyway. Man, we are seeing some outdated tech in this movie, aren't we? A lot of big, knobby, walkie-talkie, candy bar electronics, right? I get the feeling that we're supposed to infer a lesbian relationship here with Catwoman that goes unsaid. I don't know what these Rebentons go for, but they're relatively not all that powerful. I think it was a little more power than the Mira, or not Murcielago at the time. You easily would get destroyed by a Huracan or a Ventador now. What's the point of an exotic car that now has outdated tech and isn't that fast? What's the market for that? Just rare? It's rare. That's it. Man, that mole wart zit on her head, it just always bothered me. If you're a movie star, is there not a procedure you can undergo? You can see Christian Bale's transfixed by it, that dot. What do you know? It's a mask ball, and he doesn't have a mask. And look at her. She's got the little cat ears going. He's kind of right. He's pretending to be an eccentric billionaire. Never really understood why Bruce Wayne feels like he can depend on Selena Kyle, who is never sided entirely good, always been a gray at best. You're in deep with the wrong people. You need my help. You're actually a good person. Oh, come on! If she was portrayed by that thug cop from Batman Begins. Oh, what was his name? It's not a Harvey. It's not Bullock. Man, I just saw him in a movie the other day too, in The Quick and the Dead. He shows up in everything. The guy that was renting the place out in Memento. If it's him and not Anne Hathaway, does Christian Bale try to save him? Mark Boone Jr. That's it. Yeah, you see some older guys here with younger gals, but then you do see this older couple looking happy, dancing right behind them. You get a lot of social class warfare dynamics in this movie. It's us against the rich. Yeah, you guys are the evil ones, 1%. This is, it's working that, hey, everybody's talking about the Wall Street. What was it even called? It was the biggest thing. It was like boycott Wall Street. The 1%, one percenters, that was something that was getting thrown around all of a sudden. And, they're piggybacking off of this and trying to work it into the film here. It's going to be the big narrative. The poor against the rich. Oh yeah, your girlfriend just kind of took off with your ride. How was it she able to take it? Did they not recognize Bruce Wayne coming in there without a mask? And just be like, oh hey, random chick wants his car? Okay. It's not that the movie has more questions than there are answers. It's that there are bad answers. Miranda Tate. She's a big deal. You may as well seduce her to try to save your company. Oh, I'm trying to remember this machine aspect because we have the nuke that Bane's threatening to set off, right? But then we also have this machine thing. But does that get turned into a nuke? Was it something like that? And we made some extra tumblers. I mean, it's weird to think he's not been being Batman, wasting the resources, yet the company can't turn a profit. As if it's a big enough company, what he's doing on the side there for fun isn't going to have a real effect on the bottom line. And it does come in black. Throwback to requesting the tumbler be painted black. Man, I made some really good popcorn Orville Redenbacher. This is movie butter. Set in there for microwave, full strength, minute 50, and it popped probably every single kernel, and it's not burned. A lot of times I got to pull it out at 140, and some are charred. Okay, so here we go with the magical leg brace, of which only Bruce Wayne has one. Yeah, your leg brace just broke all the bones in your foot, buddy. Yeah, so I got this new knee brace, and I can just kind of kick the shit out of stuff with my foot now. And, well, there will be a pit that men are thrown in, and he has to rise out of. Thanks for mentioning all this, Alfred. You may be a few pages ahead of the script. Alright, I haven't trained in a while, but I got the special copper fit, and I am ready to roll. But, Alfred's here to give him the reverse pep talk. Telling him that, like, this guy, Bane, he's too dangerous for you, you can't handle him, all that kind of stuff. Like, there were, even early on in the day, in 2012, people were drawing a correlation that this movie seems to have the plot, or a plot from, be it Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. Where it's like, this is the guy that got the best of you. He beat you because you weren't training. He's too much for you. Your buddy Mickey / Alfred here is telling you not to fight him. But you do it anyway. He gets you, but you have to make a comeback. And then fight him again. No rye. It says rye. The degree of terror activity is kind of shown in this movie. Not something you see in movies anymore because we only make one movie. Marvel films, right? Or things trying to be like Marvel films. Maybe occasionally Tom Cruise has a movie. What do you feel about Bane not having Venom? There's no justification behind his strength. I thought that what makes Bane interesting, as he was sort of shown in the Batman the Animated Series, was his dependency on the Venom. He, giving that as a weakness instead of just having a respirator that is like a bizarre mask. Just, that's Glenn Powell. He had some lines, and he's getting tossed around. He's a young guy. Would have been like, oh man, he's early 20s right here. You see, when I read he was in The Dark Knight Rises, I was thinking, okay, so he's one of the background thugs of Bane, was my thought. See this kind of talk here? It's not our money, it's everybody's. It's the way things are phrased here. It's like, oh, you're not really rich, you just stole from the poor. And then they have the scene as people rise up against the wealthy. Reminiscent of Schindler's List, if you ask me. Oh, hey, those cops have some, like, blacked out headlights. That's something. I don't think I've been anywhere where they pull road up like that, where they have a way to stop the road. Suppose someone does some kind of Wall Street heist like this, can they not just, knowing the truth, void the cells, you know, things like that? And are there some ways to go about this? You know, not the worst way to escape. You take some dirt bikes, you strap some hostages on there, cops are not shooting. You might actually be better off in a dirt bike with that maneuver than a car. Oh, music kind of kicking in here. And it quickly becomes night. Like, that's a little bit of a mishap. For how long can they have been running through that tunnel that it just suddenly becomes nighttime? Oh, here comes the bat pod. You saw all those tumblers back there, painted desert camo. You couldn't paint one black and just be like, hey, I have a new tumbler. I'm just simply down to the bat pod, which I think should have just been a short-term escape vehicle from the tumbler. I don't really like the way it's implemented. I think you hit him with a tracker. Dun, 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 dun. It's like, okay, finally, we get to be Batman again, huh? You know, we're a good 45 minutes into the movie before Batman makes a proper appearance, right? Yeah, I'll give this to Anne Hathaway. I've never found her particularly attractive, but she has maintained some shape for a while, and I think you got to give her some kudos for that. I mean, she's pulling off this costume as best as she could be asked. I actually do prefer the hellspawn of Lisa Bonet as Catwoman, as you know, I guess the current Selena Kyle. If there's going to be a Batman sequel or the Batman sequel, and I would say it's almost assured she'd have to be in it. I mean, I like the low-tech look of her outfit with this ski mask torn up. I mean, it doesn't obscure her identity super well. It does it better than. I mean, this Selena Kyle. Why bother with this mask? Like, why bother with that? It's too much. It's too easy. Yeah, it is dark out now. It was daytime. The stock market was in session. We know these things close at like, what, 4 p.m.? And then this happens. And it looks like it could be like 10 at night. Still got my punching power. That's another thing. Christian Bale is a failure as a Batman performer. I think he's okay as a younger Bruce Wayne. 30-ish Bruce Wayne, okay? He's alright. He can't be Batman. I don't care for the way his costume looks in this movie. This is the Dark Knight costume. It looks more like he's wearing a helmet than rather a cowl mask. And the Batman voice is a horrendous choice. A lot of people think Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. I would not deny that. I like Michael Keaton a lot. I know he doesn't have the physical traits, but boy, when I was watching it, they get painted the illusion well. I find that our issue here with Christian Bale, despite having some muscles about him, looking like he could be Batman, his choice with the voice is just a failure, and it's as the movies go on and he has to talk more as Batman, it makes it harder to take seriously what's happening. And it's weird to think, and I should have to blame Christopher Nolan for a part of this. I mean, you have to direct the actors, right? And you couldn't have said, hey, scale that voice back. What the hell are you doing? Knock it off. You couldn't be bothered? We got him cornered. No, we don't. It's the Bat. All part of the plan. There's going to be a chase, and I'm going to go to this particular alley. And just kind of park this thing on an anonymous roof, throw a tarp over it. Commissioner Gordon relishing the failure of his police to bring in Batman. This guy's up to no good because he's wearing all black and there's a turtleneck involved. Oh, you got some girls in here. You called. For being sexist, I have to beat you up now. There are guys who would pay a lot of money for this. Why accuse me of being dumb? You're dumb for coming here? What are you going to do with a gun to the back of your head? Again, people would pay for that high heel kick to the balls. Just jumping out and hoping that the window washer had that low enough for you. I want that clean slate. I'm going to commit all the crimes I can till I can find the device that says I didn't commit any crimes. He's got a lot of mercenaries. This also took me out of the movie because now we have it's a Batman beat 'em up scene. It's a fight scene for Batman in a rather open space. Yeah, no guns, no killing. She's like, but I've already killed people. It's hard for that scene to happen without making you think of bam, pow, kaplunk. Cats can jump from great height, right? Oh, Bane was on the scene too. Oh, where does he get those wonderful toys? Where does he get those wonderful toys? The bat is basically a spinner from Blade Runner. Gee, Mr. Wayne, it's a pretty amazing machine you have here. You could make a lot of money for this struggling company if only you produce these as maybe public transit or sold them to millionaires, something like that. Save your life. Yeah, you're gonna have to owe me some sex in the morning. And was it a thing where it's like he has to have the print from Bruce Wayne to activate this machine that was built specifically to destroy Gotham by accident? Yeah, our R&D team is a little overzealous. I mean, screw profits when we can just, build things that can be turned into bombs. I never had an issue with this Batcave. I think it's pretty cool. Of course, now in the days of selfies and all, one too many Instagram influencer will walk up to this waterfall for a picture and poke their head into the Batcave. Look at this guy. He's too fast for you, Rock. He's a killer, Rock. He'll tear you apart. Dismissing the opponent. He's just a mercenary. Man, I don't get this. This is movie butter. I was eating ultimate butter. And I feel like movie butter might have more butter. And here is Alfred walking out. I've sewn you up. I've fixed your clothes. But I'm not going to bury my boy. This movie misses so many good opportunities. Like, okay. Alfred actually talks about men being thrown in a pit and having to rise from the darkness. Alfred should have gotten Bruce Wayne out of the pit. It's just so clear. I don't know how you missed that opportunity when writing this out. If he's standing by with the bat, then you have a plausible explanation for how Bruce Wayne got back into Gotham. And they said, screw that shit. Why is Alfred, in this version of him, the loyal butler who raised him, so dismissive and wanting him to stop now? Gotham needs you. Or that should be the mantra, right? You're supposed to be motivating me, buddy. Haven't seen Michael Caine in a bit, but he's making appearances on Twitter. And just kind of being happy. Just, hey, hi, all right, good night. Alfred walked out on me. I'm gonna have to go bang some broads now that the house is empty. He was holding me back this whole time. Times are tough. I have to answer my own door. He verified the thumbprint to make awful stock wages. That didn't pay off and crippled the company. That's what it was about. Sorry. Not that it mattered that much. The energy project. Be wary of energy projects, people. Not that you or I have the capability. Oh, what did Catwoman do with that Lamborghini? If only Lucius Fox realized he was whisking away the top villain of the movie, the real mastermind, and telling her everything she needs to do. Published paper on weaponized fusion and blah blah. Here's a reactor. Now that my company's in problem, we may need to take on a partner here. You want to help? We'll seal the deal with dinner at my place. The world's not ready for this much power, this much clean energy. Yeah, I'm look, guys, are the financial woes of Wayne Enterprise suitable for a Batman film? Even one trying to take itself so seriously, it just seems like we're not being Batman all that much here, right? Mr. Wayne has been removed from his seat at the table. Hey, good news, we got your Lamborghini. Or did it get impounded? Like, is he totally bankrupt? Like, so he took the Lamborghini, parked it in front of the building, and they're like, hey, we have to repossess this, or what? Because, like, you didn't pay for it up front in cash? Like, what's happening? Does this look like the guy you need to be mouthing off to? By the way, we are putting Tom Hardy here on maybe an apple box to give him a little bit of height. Definitely, we're doing that. You paid the wrong guy. You paid a guy who didn't care about money. That guy right there looks familiar, and I can't place it. Not the guy that just got killed off screen, but the guy who was kind of not watching. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to have to look. Is he Venture from the Halo series? I'm going to look this up. I think so. Hey, Mr. Wayne, Batman, I guess you need a ride now. Or how do we know it wasn't Blake's plan this whole time? Now he can take hostage Bruce Wayne. Well, he's away from his car, all this stuff, right? Halo TV series. I think that's who that was. If I had to guess, what was this guy's name? Bern Gorman. Oh, yes, it was. Okay, yeah, he was. That was him. All right. How many more people in a streaming series are we going to run across in this film? Sorry they took all your money? No, you're not. Yep. All right, we're going to come up with this plan to put all the cops in the sewers. Brilliant. All right, I'm going to stay here in the hospital. You guys, good luck in the sewer. It's almost astonishing that Matthew Modine isn't a bad guy. You just kind of expect somebody to be turning against Commissioner Gordon from within the police. I mean, good point. You probably had somebody at the house to let you in every time you went to the house, so you never needed the keys. But look, you can still sell the house for a lot of money. You can't be that broke. Or the things in it, right? Like, there's ways to get by. But I really have to trust this gal because she's rich and she knows I'm broke now. Kind of a lengthy movie, 2 hours, 45 minutes. I'm drinking a lot of stuff, and I'm eating that popcorn. Oh, the power went out. About time, right? You're telling me you're not really off the grid over at Wayne Manor? Like, you don't have generators and things? As a child, we had almost nothing. When nights we had fires, felt very rich. Were you talking about fires in the prison? So what you're talking about, Miranda? You're such a Miranda. Yeah, they definitely got it on. I mean, she's not wearing clothes for a reason, guys. In that jump cut, he stands up, gets to the bat suit. Just lickety split, right? No need for fuel concerns or nothing. I guess he still has access to something to get out there. But the curious thing is, think about the way they would have done that in the 80s. There would have been a fade to black. You know, it's the next day, you know, something like that, right? Time has passed. Now look, Catwoman sets him up. The first person he trusts coming back into Gotham and the only is Catwoman. You've got to be shitting me. Way too many people making dumb decisions and being out of character. And that brings the movie down in a lot of ways. Who? Me. Batman has something of a teleport ability. He's just always in front of these guys or behind them. Look at the way he dodges the bullets here. It's like with each successive flash, he has just moved closer. I think there might have been a scene like that in The Batman that I missed because it's a long-ass movie and I had to take a piss. I had to lead you here or they were going to kill me. It's time for your cage fight. It's a cage fight and a scaffolding match. Victory has defeated you? Because I guess the concept there is that peace has made him docile. These are some pretty slow, easy to avoid punches there if one were wanting to, you know? Oh man, poor Tom Hardy with those short arms. You're not really buying the size they're giving him. Superman punch. We're doing a few MMA things here in our cage match, aren't we? He's got a few trinkets here that do nothing. We'll see in a sec. Everybody walked out on me. I'm feeling extra low. You know, a good pep talk from Alfred could have helped, but instead he pussed out. I don't fully understand what throwing those little, I don't know, noisemakers at him did. It kind of just seems like Bruce Wayne went about this very unprepared. Like, obviously this guy's wearing this respirator thing. Maybe I should attack that. Why couldn't that have been my focus point? And in honoring the comics, in the way that this is a recent comic character, I think was Bane introduced in '93. They do work in the bat. He broke the man who broke the bat. You know, he's got to do the backbreaker. But would that move work on a guy wearing the bat suit? That's what I have to ask you. You merely adopted it. I was born in it. Yeah, okay. Now, if you were really in dark that long, would you have any vision? I mean, this guy was ready for everything. Oh man, his face right there, mouth open. He's making faces like the angry video game nerd. I mean, this guy had his lines worked out for this fight. He's like, this is going to be so easy, I'm going to be able to give a speech. Well, this guy's got in there quick. You just blew the hole in. You already got guys climbed up? Oh, yay. Look what you did, Selena Kyle. In the last movie, didn't people get a bolt, a little bit of electricity through the body for trying to remove the mask? Isn't that what happened? Now we're going with our fade to black. Yeah, don't suppose anybody's home, Blake. Quite the fashionable way to dress, right? I mean, people now, going through any kind of travel, just dress in the most comfortable way possible. Not like you're already going to the gala. Well, I don't have a hat to put in this guy's face and punch him. Girls gotta eat, right? She wants to get out of Gotham City. That's what she wants to do. She may be privy to some knowledge on this plan and be like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And here's Blake stopping her. And you can definitely see, yes, she does have some regret. She seems a little saddened by it, but from Batman's perspective, how is he to know she feels bad about this? He just instantly, hey, I'm back in Gotham, want to give you another chance. You're the only person I can trust. Okay, based on the person who betrayed you the most recently is the one you want to trust. Okay, gotcha. The logistics of this Middle Eastern prison camp, Middle Eastern, wherever, it's not in America. The logistics of getting in and out of this place, traveling the world to get back to Gotham City, it's just, I said it's not that the movie raises more questions than it answers, it's that it has bad answers. It also has times where it has no answers. You just accept it so we can get to our next action sequence, right? Of which we don't really have the right pacing, do we? We try to have like a bit of a heist switcheroo type thing, as we did with The Dark Knight, but this one was less fun with the plane. I preferred the bank robbery. And 45 minutes later, we actually have a chase, and Batman's there, but it kind of seems like we could have spaced this a little better. We got TV here for you to watch all the chaos. I haven't worn one of these, but I'm thinking his ability to look down is hindered by this mask. Really had no problem bringing in Catwoman, huh? You don't think she could have handled Blake and just exited? I mean, it didn't even look like he's questioning her handcuffed or nothing. You know, we're getting some percussion coming up here. Took 3 of them into the sewers. I mean, this is the dilemma of watching like 3 movies a day and not seeing this one in 10 years. You kind of have to relearn the plot. Well, with the last name Daggett, you just can't be that much of a good guy, right? Speaking native language. Now, look, you understand, if you buy the story of who's in this prison, it's like, oh, it's a bunch of rapists. It's possible they were accused and maybe didn't do it. You know, Bruce Wayne's kind of an innocent man in here. Maybe there's some others. Here's the chanting that was permeating throughout the trailer. Really, it didn't have a bad trailer, this movie. You got this chanting thing. It's a little Inception-like in that you're kind of curious of the geography of this place. You know, why it's a giant well prison. Like, there's steps. There's a lot of weird shit happening. And he's talking about a child that was here, and he's thinking, oh, Bane was a child in this prison. That's it. He's jumping to assumptions. All you cops just pour into the sewer. Asian cop's like, I'm Asian. They didn't give me a hat. I was not supplied with a hat. Man, is this the last movie in which cops even have those hats? I have not seen a cop in in a police hat in absolute ages. We got this hostage here. You guys have to activate this. She's new to the company, already has her hand scanned in to do everything, right? Those fingers were not nearly aligned to the space designated by those boxes on the screen. You know, it is. I'm curious of how the U.S. government would react to this. It's a whole city held hostage, isolated. What would the government do? You know. I mean, I feel like the plot to this movie exceeds a Batman film. Like, when there are hostages, there's a scheme that one man can foil. That's a Batman issue. The Joker was kind of pushing that. I mean, there was a lot of things going on he had to handle, right? This, too wide of an area, it's a military issue presented in this film. Batman can't handle this alone. It doesn't feel right. You're the cop. Yeah, we were told about you. And I'm okay with shooting people. Yeah, that's not gonna work, I guarantee you. First time shooting somebody, now I don't like guns, damn it. I've dropped popcorn, I have no idea where it is, damn it. I'm gonna stain my pants. Well, you drop buttery popcorn and you sit on it. Blake has figured out that they're heading into a tramp. Why isn't he commissioner? It's okay, we're going to Outlaws? What do we call this team? The not quite Pittsburgh Steelers. Going to one of their games. I also think that the CGI fails this movie, and I mean, this is coming 2 years after Inception. This is Christopher Nolan's follow-up to a film that had exceedingly highly praised CGI. And we have, much more restrained CGI in this. The scope of which I don't think we could do practically. Blowing up the football field, having the guys fall. But, I mean, it's one scene, right? You could get a lot of people to work on this, make it look good. And I remember it looking quite bad. So, and you saw that in the marketing material too. Kind of giving it away. Well, they're playing the not Seattle Seahawks, I see. But why have in the marketing, unimpressive CGI? Why show people that? I'm going to assume that the first lady clapping there was the kid's mom. It's really an unlikely mic holder for that kid to be singing the anthem from because it's not easily adjustable by him or for somebody's height. I have a mic stand like that too I used to use, and I mean you never see one like that with the swing out arm at like an open mic stand up comedy or anything. Here we go. Yeah, oh, there goes the mayor. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's not as bad as I remembered. In ways, the particle effects of the dirt blowing up don't look that good. The people chasing Hines Ward and falling, not that bad. And let's go ahead and assume they're well armored. They're wearing, shall we say, NFL regulation caliber padding. And maybe they survived the fall. Let's give them that benefit. Yeah, you know, the aftermath of it looks pretty good, though. Yeah, maybe I was a little harsh on talking up the effects. It's passable enough, right? It's not too outlandish to take you out of the film. Because it's not really my chief gripe. My gripe with the movie isn't it has the worst effects of the Batman Nolan films, and it does, but it's other issues I have with this movie. From here forward, there's not a lot of good moments left. Every cop has been sent to the sewer. Not every one of them. Blake's still up here. They're also thinking Commissioner Gordon. We gotta go rescue him. They're gonna be after him now. If not already. You know, timed it with the explosion. Dude, you're not getting to a hospital in time when the people you're trying to stop are already in the hospital. Going through it, looking for him. Hell, may even know where he is. I hope Gordon was on top of it. He kept a gun nearby, evidently. Bane talks too much too. I mean, you got just the right amount of Joker. You get too much Bane. Confirmed dead, huh? He really confirmed that well, huh? Just there's a guy with his blood type dead on the plane crash from our transfusion operation thing. He should have said nobody. Only me? Okay, I'm dead now. Not the best looking neck breaker. See, here we go with that anti-first class, anti-Wall Street type talk. Returning it to the people. Anybody leaves Gotham, bum goes off. Ruin the party for everybody. He basically puts Gotham in lockdown, right? Something that seemed far-fetched until recent years. Get the president on the line. The president, played by William Devane. A guy you kind of see around. He was one of the bad guys in the Marathon Man. I don't think he was president on 24, but he might have been at some point. At some point, they had a lot of different presidents. But he was on 24, Kiefer Sutherland show, Jack Bauer. He was on that for a few seasons. Going to try to get the army to be accountable for keeping an eye on the way out, I guess. I mean, I don't really think that the army would shoot somebody trying to leave Gotham. That's not going to happen. We haven't abandoned you. We're just taking a break. Is it possible Bane's influence increases? He effectively recruits people to join his cause. Should the streets be this empty? Shouldn't it be mass chaos? Am I missing something? And this is incredibly ridiculous. Though he's accurate about Harvey Dent being bad, kind of exposing this, right? They lied to you, made you think he was a good example, all this, false idol, okay. Who's to believe this guy? What is his credibility? He just says things and everybody believes it? Like, oh, okay, now I'm just going to pull this not made up paper out of here and just start saying things. And here is dumbass Commissioner Gordon. Like, I can't believe he's reading this stuff. Why did I write this stuff down for him to find? I was going to give this speech and tell the truth about Harvey Dent, but instead I lied. I thought about giving this speech at the beginning of the movie, but I backed out and I kept this paper around for somebody to find. Good thing I wrote this down. I mean, I suppose we can think that most any criminal he frees is now part of his gang. I mean, come on, go ahead and tell Blake. Look, it wasn't my idea to make Dent the hero. That was Batman's. It was a bad idea. Sorry. Yeah, back talk the commissioner here. It's not like you have any chance of getting fired. You're not gonna be put on paid leave, right? Bane, your nominee for president over here. And they are just coming out of the prison all armed with AK-47s. Like we came here to pass these guns out. And here we do Occupy Wall Street. That's what it was. Yeah, here's our. This is Schindler's List style shakedown right here. All right, we're going after a group of people, and we're looting all their stuff. I do like how somehow Scarecrow appears throughout these movies. He gets to be a judge in this kangaroo court. Oh, Selena Kyle, look what you have done. Okay, the police will survive as they learn to serve true justice. So what exactly are they learning? You occasionally lower them some food, and that's about it, right? Oh, have you seen enough Batman? It's weird to think that we haven't gotten a lot of views of Batman's reaction to this. He could have just been sitting there watching TV for, days. I mean, a bit of time has passed, right? This isn't all in one day, was it? He took out the field, then freed them in the same day. It was kind of hard to tell. Oh, the story of the kid who escaped. So Bane was from here, but he's not the child. But Batman's not totally picking up on this. Now this mercenary, this is Ra's al Ghul. No, occasionally do you pronounce it Raish al Ghul, right? It's his kid that was born in the darkness, not Bane. Bruce Wayne is thinking that Bane could be the child of Ra's al Ghul. There's Bane, the protector of the child. Yeah, we have a rope and a pulley here to fix your back. This, it's not the most technologically inclined way to do this. I'll punch it back into place. That'll work. Now, despite an absence in the previous movie, we have worked Ducard back into this, right? Though it seems you, in order to make sense of this movie, you more likely needed to see Batman Begins more so than the Dark Knight, that which preceded this movie, the one right before it, because he's not really having a conversation here. But hey, Force Ghost Qui-Gon before Force Ghost Qui-Gon in Kenobi series, right? I mean, something to think about. It didn't really occur to me when I decided to watch this. And they disappeared like the ghost. Yeah, okay. How amazing does his rock climbing ability have to become to get jacked enough to be able to take Bane on? Right? Look, a lot of times these villains kind of keep the hero alive. At times they shouldn't, for the hells of it, because the movie needs the hero to win, right? And so it doesn't really add up. I'm going to whisk you away to the prison, but I can get back into Gotham and then take it over, shut off all the borders, all the entry points. Somehow Batman gets through. We had an opportunity to kill him, but I guess the fun is in... I mean, it's not even like one of these Joker things where it's like, yeah, if you were dead, you were... how does he put it? Like a dog chasing a car. Once you catch the car, there's nothing left. Well, I don't think that's really the case for Bane's motivation here. It's just convenient for storytelling that he doesn't kill Batman. Blake, gotta check in on the orphans. Man, Blake, bigger role in this movie than I remembered, really. I mean, is he arguably more effective against Bane than Batman to this point? Hitting those pull-ups. Man, I'm a pull-up beast, but I think I dislocated my shoulder back in March, and it has not actually gotten better. Usually I can just walk off anything in like 10 minutes. I don't know what I was doing some monkey bars, and I probably shouldn't been. I was going to attempt the exit, but does the rope really stop you from making this jump? I mean, in a metaphorical way, this works out okay. Oh, that is going to hurt a lot, by the way. That might kill you. I mean, this isn't a complex system here. This is a rope tied around your torso, and then you swing and your head hits some bricks. I mean, one way or another, you're taking big damage. Oh, here's the protector. Pushes the kid up there. Do I need to look up who's playing this child? And is it going to turn out to be somebody that's a thing now? This city, not really an agricultural hub. Are we working in some plan here to get food in to the people, but yet nobody crosses the line to leave? Okay, so there are a few cops that are not necessarily in there, and I mean, but it's not many. I mean, the mercenaries are keeping them fed. Can we? It just you don't really seem that menacing when you are supplying the captives with food, right? It's kind of something you just don't want to bring up in a movie because it kind of makes them seem soft for even doing that. Keeping an eye on these trucks to try to figure out which one's got the device. Oh, this guy looks a lot like Tony Gonzalez, doesn't he? He did say that people of Lucius Fox's status needed to be able to observe this. And there is no we built it, you just showed up. You stay and look after these folks, huh? Someone sold us out, and then he then takes off with Miranda, the mastermind. Yeah, Blake, best cop in Gotham, but still not the world's greatest detective. I guess he's not interested in this guy naming anything or giving out any information. Oh no. Oh, and now he's taking out his TV. He's received max motivation now. Things weren't bad until he saw some police hanging from helicopters, like Scarface. I wonder, do they have rules in this prison? Like, you only get one crack at it a day, or once a month, right? How does this work? A little bit of a flashback to the Batman Begins. Why do we fall? Pick yourself up, whatever, or so we can get back up, something like that, right? Or hell, even if he does escape and Alfred's not there waiting for him, like there was something worked out. Yeah, I knew where they were taking you. I kept an eye on him. Any of that. Go to the cafe and see him. Right? He said he's going to be at this cafe and dreams of seeing you there, but only he's going to be disheveled and in need of assistance. It just seems so weird that Alfred is of no use at all for the whole movie. How weird is it also to think that in the flashback, constructed through the interpretation by Bruce Wayne, the child escaping, right? The protector gets attacked. Protector always had his face covered in that kind of projected backstory that Batman was trying to piece together. You think maybe sometimes the new guy is like, hey, I need to learn the lyrics to this chant so that we can cheer on people as they climb? Yeah, there's starting to be a lot of escaped convicts around in the news. I'm starting to see this happen quite a bit. It's like, what are we doing? We have like a well with a rope, and we let them climb out if they can. They get to break free. You didn't used to see any stories about escaped convicts. It was like something that would happen more in a cartoon than in reality. If you do it without the rope, you can do it. What awaits you at the top? No telling. He then throws a rope down for everybody to climb out. And I think we are led there. Why else would he throw the rope, right? So now, who knows what kind of bad guys have potentially been unleashed on the world, right? Hey, there's Venture. He must be the guy who has to walk the ice. Yeah, there we go, Scarecrow. I like the way that works in. Well, is Peaky Blinders a streaming series, or is that actually on television? All right. With this ice frozen over, you might just be able to walk this. I mean, I would have some faith. I would think you have a pretty good shot of doing this. So we've been at this for a while. This thing goes off in 23 days. We have max. We got 18 hours left. We need to get things going. Anyone know what the deal with Batman is? No idea. We'll assume he's not around. Otherwise, this may not have progressed to the way it is. Guy in the background there looks like tall Ben Shapiro. He's not here. Shows up right behind her. It, okay, suppose this is maybe New York City. Could you really effectively stop everybody from trying to leave? Because given the composition of the people, it's not like it's a small town Kansas with a bunch of law-abiding citizens who may listen. No one's going to tell the gang members what to do. They're gonna leave or try to, and then it's all over. Careful what you ask for, Selena Kyle. Oh yeah, now you give him the apple, but you get a bite first. What is this, like a little mafia thing here? You gotta wet my beak. Yeah, he just teleported really close to her. And she believes that's it. That's the clean slate. I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's okay. I still think there's some good in you. Okay, whatever. He just appears in Gotham, has this device that no one is even sure exists. Just so many questions. I mean, shit, first person he comes to. He doesn't even go to Commissioner Gordon, Blake, look for Alfred, none of that shit. Oh, no one realizes that they're giving all the information to the big bad. That is a throne built on a pile of desks, I guess. It works for me. Okay, so the punishments range in what? One way or the other, you get the exile? There's a lot of faith in that he would be captured and brought to the board of Wayne Enterprises. Okay, can Anne Hathaway kick like that? If she can pull off that kick and do the backflip unassisted, which, I mean, it kind of looked clean, but I don't know. I never known for her to be acrobatic. It's not like she's Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, the criminals took over the city and they have not checked the rooftops. Because I guess they just didn't get around to it. They were too busy looting all the apartments. This bullshit also about it conveniently not having an autopilot. How is that possible? How can you've gotten this far in the process? The thing doesn't have an autopilot functionality, which is as basic as power windows on any car. It just doesn't make sense. Hey, can this thing fly straight without someone sitting there? Oh man, I just thinking about it, it seems almost like Blake is more responsible for saving Gotham than Batman. Like, it's close. He puts a pretty good effort forward. Does Batman have a dart gun? He's got like tiny batarang darts, it appears. Yeah, instead of really freeing Gotham, I went to the trouble of painting a Batman logo with fire to motivate the people, let them know it's on like Donkey Kong. Actually, the Batman voice I was doing there was better than Christian Bale's. And I think Blake gets some kills in here, and then Batman's like, "Hey, well, hold on, we're not going to do any more killing. Okay, you've had plenty." It's still nighttime Batman action. We haven't seen Batman in the daytime yet. I mean, you could have told him what that was. Count to 5, throw. Oh, maybe it's a grenade. Yay, we freed the cops. He's kind of right. This is like his last opportunity to thank him. Oh, we had hidden away a bat pod. We'd hidden away the bat. Making some assumptions here that she can drive this. He's gonna guilt her into helping big time, surely. She's kind of right. I mean, does he owe the city anything, or has he tried? Has he not made valid efforts to repay the city whatever he thinks he may owe them? All right, so we got our big showdown. Here's the war part. Let's not necessarily wearing our SWAT gear here, Matthew Modine. Heavily outgunned, by the way. Heavily. All right, so we got our snow daytime showdown here. We're going to have... for the sake of trying to keep in line with Batman doing stuff at night, maybe this could have taken place at night. We got handguns and batons versus essentially tanks and convicts with AK-47s. This is not a good look. Poppy, you're going to wish you had 11. Okay, so what exactly did the bat do to it? Was it like a little EMP type thing that didn't affect the bat? Like, I don't know. Oh, because they made mention of that too, and I think that might have been in regard to taking out the bomb, right? Okay, so we have an exit tunnel cleared for some people to escape. Here we go, daytime Batman. And you did see some leak footage from this fight over here, and you know it's not professional photography, and it is going to come across as silly looking compared to how it's going to be presented in a movie, of course, right? Is his bat suit slightly different here? Like I was kind of drawn to the crotchal area there. You couldn't see details on him so much in other movies because he wasn't out in the daytime as Batman. And there is some thought there that if Batman's seen walking around in the daytime, it's more intentionally funny than it should be. Like it comes across as a guy in a costume. To Bruce Wayne, the bat suit is a uniform, not a costume. That's why those punk ass kids doing the cosplay are, they're not taking it seriously, right? So it's the idea these are the bigger kids that he can trust to go alert people. You should say he's back. You know, the kid said, "Is he back?" They're not going to say Batman. Just say Batman's back in town. He told me to give you these orders. You guys want to help Batman, right? Even though the cops have been chasing him for years, and we've kind of made him out to be the bad guy by accident. Come on, Batman, it's so obvious. Take a bite at his mask for the hell of it. It bites some of those prongs off. I mean, Bane, you had to realize something like this was a possibility, leaving him alive. Now groans in brackets. You found my weakness. As obvious as it was, you finally found it. Tossed her a shotgun, right? That this guy was holding, that he had to get really close to Batman to try to use. What the hell was Miranda Tate doing in this room in the first place? Oh, Batman, you're not supposed to kill anybody, right? Oh, I didn't kill him. I told him he can die now. Oh, I never escaped like that. Then how the hell did you get out? Stab. I had the trigger the whole time. Yeah, I don't really have too much of an issue with her character other than how she dies is funnier than it should have been. Other than that, I mean, it's... if you could stomach not reading ahead the casting spoilers, things like that, it's not a bad twist. So how did your protector get out? Did you toss him a rope? There we go, finally unmasked. Yeah, I am concerned that young her is going to be somebody. She looks kind of familiar. I'm gonna look this up here. The prisoners and the doctor did the work to my protector. Then Dad came and liberated the place, I guess. I don't fully understand here. So Bane was in the League of Shadows before he was in the prison? And then he was excommunicated on being rescued, kinda? And also, of course, if the dad's familiar with the territory, he couldn't have come and done this raid thing sooner, maybe? I mean, he was in the prison as well. It wasn't some unknown place. Alright, let's look up a young Talia here. Older prison child, Joey King. I thought so. I thought that's who it could have been. So young Talia there escaping is somebody. I don't like these scenes here with Gordon in the van or in the truck, and he's like losing his footing and stuff, like all Mr. Magoo. MCU. Blake, MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe officer. I thought all the bridges were supposed to have been blown in the first place, but this is the for supplies only bridge. I mean, you could just say to him, hey, we've neutralized the situation. We have to get these people out of here. We're working on this. You know, the military is not going to be shooting people trying to cross. That's ridiculous. All right, we've repaired your mask. Got you non-wheezing. That Matthew Modine is still alive is ridiculous. Oh, hey, it looks like Matthew Modine might get credit there for taking out Bane's, like, lieutenant, I guess. Blasted from the bat pod. I mean, I would have thought that he would have noticed this thing entering the room. Yeah, Commissioner Gordon looks like he's totally out of place here. Like, I can't believe they're making me do things. And of course, she has a much more Eastern-inspired wardrobe all of a sudden as she reveals herself to have been the mastermind. You know, being that this is the end of the plan anyways, I guess she didn't have much reason to keep it a secret anymore either. Oh, he kind of overestimated the cops. He or under I don't did he underestimate their loyalty to this plan to basically do as the bad guy requested in preventing people to leave? Man, that is a clean explosion of that bridge, isn't it? How the hell is that missing? Imagine how the MCU would do this scene now. There wouldn't be any need to have actual vehicles made. Shit would be flying all over the place. There'd be some slow motion bullet time, deep note moment as things fall. Cameras were twirling about all over crazy. And it would be completely ridiculous because they had all the stuff in the can, or at least worked on, before they even hired a director for the movie. Not the fastest missiles following that thing, huh? The bus, that's where you go. This looks pretty good. This looks visually more convincing than most of the MCU stuff I see. In reality, those tumblers are quite lightweight. They look like a tank, but they're very light. I guess in universe it needs to be kind of light too, because it has to be able to jump a space to be able to create a bridge. It jumps over a river, towing something, he builds a bridge real quick. Something like that, right? But I think it's just largely fiberglass. You can check out Jay Leno's garage. He drove one around, I think, around the time of this movie. I'm not so sure what kind of vehicle this is, but it looks like something that carries ICBMs more so than a dump truck. Oh, we just lost Talia. I'm pretty sure that would have killed the shit out of Commissioner Gordon. I mean, he didn't even have a seat. She could have been buckled up. He would have just been straight dead. I mean, this has got to be kind of news to Commissioner Gordon here. Okay, so you take this thing away from the reactor unit thing, and now it's unstable. If you can put it back, then you neutralize it. Or you gotta fly it over the ocean. She didn't come back here. She tried to escape, man. She was trying to get a train ticket and couldn't get out of the city. Don't give her no hero credit. All right, Commissioner Gordon, maybe it's time that I tell you the truth. Why I trusted you. Because long ago, you put a quote on a young boy's shoulders. You remember that? Probably the only time you ever did that. There you go. Okay, did you see the... Yeah, there we go. In case the audience didn't remember, you got the flashback. Got our cable rigged up, and it is time to fly. There was a... not that there was a rumor beforehand, oh, Batman's going to die in this one. No, there wasn't that going on, but there was an air of secrecy in movies at one point. NDAs, reason to keep a surprise, to get people to see a film. You didn't see news of Batman dying in this, but judging from the trailer, it's like giving these people everything, not everything. And it's like, oh, yeah, the stakes have been raised. We could get a Batman noble sacrifice out of this, but the punches are kind of pulled. And then Logan goes and gets credit for having the guts to kill the hero. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice wants to get some of that credit, but you know that Superman can't stay dead. Especially as teased at the end there, right? But, I mean, if Batman died here, maybe that could have redeemed the movie a little bit. Because it also is super implausible how he gets out of here. The Thing doesn't have an autopilot. We've set that up. So how does he clear the blast? We just don't bother answering that. It's just, no answer. Well, I'll just see you at the cafe. Now you're in theater, you're thinking, okay, well, Batman's dead. Maybe it's not the raucous, thrilling, fun Batman movie, right? But it told a story, and then it kind of cheaps out, even more so. Oh, Blake threw away the. Why? I mean, they kind of won. Do you need to be that upset at the cops and throw away your badge? I would say not needed. What happens with Wayne Manor now? Is it left to Alfred? Or was it in foreclosure? Like, how bad was the financial situation here for Bruce? I think we have CGI'd in Wayne Manor right there. Yeah, it looks like a composite, but this movie does a very good job with those shots compared to a lot of contemporary stuff. Effects in this are miles better than Avengers 2012, which also has a deluge of them. It's overkill. I can't be a cop anymore. I have to be more than a cop. I have to be a guy who goes climbing in an area, the Batcave. Like Batman gives him the directions to the Batcave. What have we done with this Batman statue? Can it be found anywhere? There's got to be some pretty heavy money coming to Alfred. They just said the remainder. I'm thinking it could be a few million. So it's like taken in by the city to be used as a orphanage. And here we go with oh, hey, you should go by Robin. What? There was a last minute patch? There was a hot fix on the autopilot? How? Oh, Bruce Wayne just did it himself. Huh. So wait a minute, what's this coordinate stuff over here that I'm picking up? What's this about? I'm just at that cafe I've been going to every day for the last month. You might have been able to walk through there, Blake. You maybe didn't need a swing. And that landing on those rocks, that had to sting. Now, when I saw this in theaters, I did not pick up on Catwoman being with Batman. I did not notice Selena Kyle, because you only get like a second to look and notice that it's Bruce Wayne. Catwoman doesn't like also do anything. She's in the background, essentially. Here we go. And you're also trying to pick up on everything Blake's doing too, so there's a lot to take in here. Okay, see, look. You're looking at Bruce Wayne. I don't really think that, and she's out of focus. That's why I didn't notice her before. Let's see if I go over here. Maybe push a button. What's going to happen? Whoa. You know, he didn't leave a Robin suit for him, right? Or a Nightwing. I don't think. All right, guys, there you go. The Dark Knight Rises. What? The Dark Knight made every movie have to have dark in the title, and then this, everything has to rise all of a sudden, even when it's the end. What did you guys think? I saw some more familiar faces in this than I recalled. I'll tell you that. All right, if you made it this far, no, wait, that's the wrong line. That's for the streams. See you next time. Adios.